I say nearly, bastards. Oh, bloody light's fucking huge. Gotta get that light sorted out. Let me jack that down a wee bit there. A wee second. Let me speak into the microphone here. Pull back a wee hair or two. How are you getting on there now? How are you getting on there, boys and girls? We have to chat. Joining us here live. I was going to open up with a song, but then technology jumped up in the way and it took over. So we have that there. How is everybody doing? How are you, bastards? Furniture has moved around here. Monitor heavy centric on this side. Yonder monitor Katutski. A little bit just before we went off. So, but we will make do. So there'll be a lot of this. Won't be any of that, but there'll be a lot of this. How are you? Big hello to Emmanuel, first in the house. Fair play, Emmanuel. John O'Donoghue joining us. Good to see you. Hope you're on time there. I'm sure you are sitting there with us. Hope you're keeping well. John Paul gives us a 3x5. I turn up the mic there a little bit, and I don't know for why. Let me just check the browser. Let's jack that up. System is also the same. Mic is up full tilt. Mic is up. I say. Oh, when the sun beats down and melts the tar up on the roof, and your feet get so hot, you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah. On a blanket with my baby, that's where I'll be. Over to you. Under the boardwalk. How was that? Mic check. 5x5. Testicle. Are you receiving any better? I shall speak up and I shall speak concisely and clearly into yonder. Look at the state of me grooving it. Let's fluff that up a little bit up there. Let's get it a 5x4. Can you increase the volume? I am doing it, John. That was that. Hang on. Oh, when the sun beats down. It was right down. I totally didn't change the dial. How are we doing there now? 5x5. Would you like to hear that song again? Should we do it again? Why not? Oh, when the sun beats down and burns the tar up on the roof, and your feet get so hot, you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah. On a blanket with my baby, that's where I'll be. 5x5 from Colette, 5x5 from John Francis. Sheepdog giving us a 5x5. Big thank you to Eugene. Let's pick it up. Let me find a hat there. Oh, because my hair is throwing me off. No alpha males here. Hey, hang on a sec. Shall we go with the grey? Shall we go with the grey? Someday I'll get over you. I live to see it come true. But I'll always miss dreaming my dreams with you. Or we could go a little bit gangster rap. Go full on Chicago, 1956. I say, sonny, I say. I think we'll go Oscalia. I think we'll keep it Irish. I don't think the lefties are ready for an all-white hat just yet. You know what I mean? White supremacy! Look, I told you he was into white power. White power. All the way. Let's check that on a wee bit there as well. I had an adventure. I had an adventure coming home on the way home today. And just looking at the wanton destruction of my country as I drive around. We did a stream there a couple of weeks back about the retardation and the driving in Ireland, and it was on full display on my way home. I had a breakdown after. I had to pull off. I just about managed to get off the motorway in time and let the vehicle reset. But driving down, like I'm thundering down the motorway. I say thundering, doing a thundering 20 kilometres an hour on the M50 at 4:30 of an evening. That's pretty fucking fast. You know what I mean? I was containing myself, but that's pretty fast on a Monday evening on the M50. But all I seen was, quite coincidentally, was a cohort of Ukrainian red cars just driving up down the road in these old bangers, and there were 4 or 5 similar cars of the same ilk. And believe it or not, 2 or 3 of them still had what is like a chalk X on the rear view mirror and one of the letters, like they'd been shipped in. This parked up here, so pulling up beside Drongo here beside me. Centre, using it there for work. Got a few bits of tools thrown in the back. But the Ukrainian Reg vehicle there, no tax, no insurance, no this. That's what you and I are having to compete with. I have to compete against him, probably in the construction trade, driving down the wages and stuff like that, but having no overheads to meet. How can I compete? How can you compete with that? No food, no rent, no electric, no internet, no tax, no insurance, probably no fuel. Full income, full wage, and still getting other assistance, getting HAP, getting HARP, and a few quid in your back pocket. How are you supposed to compete with that? It's not a compete. It's not a level playing field. It's not a level playing field by design, and we are in that two-tier system, as we understand. As we do understand, I'm not going to kind of keep with the malaise that was I was looking at last week's show there as well. I'm going to kind of dip out of it, hence a little bit of singing, hence a little bit of mischief. A couple of talking points here and a few Twitter handles. I mean, obviously today, Mandy put this. Let me put this over here. Chat's over here. Everything's over there. Let me jump over to the feed view here. We'll get straight into tonight's disquisition with an expected, after the European Ursula von der Leyen made a new trade deal, and the UK has done something similar now as well, because it's obviously not tied into Europe, but it got allowed for the free trade, the free movement of labour, the free movement of cheap and easy labour. Everything in every fucking corporation or business, big enterprise would scream for, driving your wages down further and further. And here we are competing with the latest cohorts of people wishing to learn English in our universities, queuing for food. I thought the whole point of you coming over here to study was that you were fucking self-sufficient, that you could at least feed yourself over here while you were gaining said accreditation. You'll get your PPS number, you get your life. This pox here at the front with the look of expectation. How dare I have to wait up here for free food, taking food out of other students' mouths, and the whole queue. I think there's one snowflake in there, and I'd say he probably is a fucking snowflake, because he hasn't said tickety-boo, sticking his head up in the back row over there. This is inconvenient, isn't it? You'd be chopping heads. Get out of the way, bastard. Get out of the way, bastard. Get out of the way, bastard. Yeah, Irish first-class citizen here. Get out of it. Wanting discrimination. That's all I'm after. But Mandy popped that out. That's jumping around on the Twitter swamp here. Food bank queue at an Irish university looks just as you'd expected, and it's not just in the universities. The charity food stores as well, run by the I think it's called the Liberty Bell or the Lighthouse, the one in the Lighthouse. Clear as the eye, you can see it goes around the corner, back around the fire station. It goes past U2's hotel there. Let's talk a little bit about Paul Houston there while he jumps in my mind there with the new song. And again, none of this is in defence of anything that's going on in the United States. I have a video. We'll touch in on the X-Files as well, because I think there's a kind of important angle to it as well that we must kind of bring up. But Pox Houston is very much involved in that side of the water. Our Irish billionaires are very much involved in that. I did say to you last week, let's let it unroll, let's let it unravel and see if any of the names that are released, because apparently there's huge pressure on Thomas Massey, who I still think is a fucking legend, who I still think is an ex-celeb and is actually a presidential candidate. I'd go for him before I go for J.D. Vance if I could vote in that election. Even to have such a candidate on offer, the potential of it. We have nothing like this here in the Republic. All bought out and sold for, all bought out, clearly bought out. When you can see the latest Business Post Red Sea poll that Sinn Féin are leading in the polls. I might come up on the Twitter feed when we get through it. Sinn Féin leading the polls at 23%. I mean, fucking, when I say the retardation, we'll have a little, we might have a little a palate cleanser here. Let me see if I can bring him up there straight away. Where are you, Mike? The people want to hear from you. The people, they just got to hear from you. You have to, you're going to enjoy this as well, because Michael doesn't hold back. Michael, I hope you're tuning in there, or you're looking in as well. I did giggle when I first heard this first time around as well. But in essence, we're getting more and more foreigners telling us how we should conduct ourselves and how we should make way in the new Ireland for the new Irish and just get used to it. But we're not having it, because this is the attitude of the general Irish population at the moment. I think Mike encapsulates it for us very clearly. And our number one target here is, this new National Action Plan against racism that they're coming up with as well. Another control mechanism to quash the centre or anything like that, to kind of shame us, to stand in the moral high. Of course you're against racism. Why wouldn't you be against racism? What sort of fiend are you? It's the moral authority to gain there, the soup salad of language that I say, to place themselves. I'm only here to help and serve you. It's not about the free money that I get, or the house that you've given me, or the DEI position of Lord Mayor for a period of time. I'm talking about fucking wobble chops here, Hazel Poo. But let's Mike clear out the palette, and we'll crack on.
Part of the National Action Plan Against Racism Advisory Committee.
You know, when I think of the Department of Integration, I think about a set of government programmes designed to compel foreigners to adjust to our way of life as Irish people. But unfortunately, the opposite is true. The Department of Integration seeks to compel the Irishman to adjust to the motherfucking foreigner. And if I had my way, I would abolish that department in its fucking entirety, saving the taxpayer hundreds of millions of euros. That's exactly what I would do. And not only that, I would actually round up every fucking foreign cunt like Hazel Chew, and I would fuck them clean out of the country and send them back to their ancestral homelands. Because I'm not going to lie to you, I am sick to my motherfucking balls of being told what I can and cannot do and what I can and cannot say in order to be nice to fucking foreigners. I'm fucking sick of it.
Yeah, I think Mike kind of encapsulated it and sums it up quite well. The sort of the flavour and the zeitgeist. Fucking sick of it, but we have a way to go. Do give Satirical Soldier a follow over on Twitter if you're not following, or join him on his Telegram. I did say I was going to do Telegram tonight there because I had it on the phone at my 10 o'clock. I was just testing it. I might just throw it on there and see if it works better with the phone here. Do bear with a little bit of technical stuff going on here. If I go live there, let me go. Where the filthy filth flarm is that? Oh, maybe it was just what came up in the notification. Bear with. This is probably not the time or the appropriate time to be trying this at the moment. There, where was that? Or maybe if I go into that. And file, location, poll, music, contact. Oh, where? Yeah, obviously not the right time to test that. But I was going to bring a Telegram up and see if I could get it up and run. No, don't do it, GT. Don't do it. Michael obviously knocking us out there. A bit of a palate cleanser to kind of just refresh and recharge what we're all thinking, as I said, and what we're all saying at the moment. And again, just take it in the humor that it's intended to be, you know, in these dark times, although it is starting to get clearer in the evenings as well. Like that's looking forward to the summertime rolling in. Summertime. I have to stop singing all that. She's some grifter. I'd name the ship the Hazel Chew Express from Floods. And again, somebody pointed out that she was actually over in the UK in London protesting against the British patriots. I'll say patriots. Englishmen in their thousands protesting about an anti-immigration mark. It's great to see the Lion starting to wake up and speak out. Again, the bar has been set by Reform Britain. Something that I think would do well over here if somebody was to just take the horse by the reins and just get on the race course and get going with it. Massey is a snake, Colette says. Could be. And again, I didn't want to touch on that too early. Maybe we'll push back, Colette, on it a little bit. We'll go through that little video bit, and it kind of ties in with the theme of discernment, malinformation, disinformation, misinformation, all of that. We have to still use and keep our discernment hats on about what we assume or what we can quantify within reason to ourselves as being approximate to the truth or as close to the truth, because we won't know the truth unless you're actually physically there. But the discernment, there's so much of that stuff being pumped out, so many different narratives being thrown out there as well. It'll drive you crazy. That's why I kind of made not the request, but kind of said to you, like most of us, a good cohort bastards, I am presuming there's a good many of us here have gone through them 6-7 years ago. The releases. Although this is the official release, we've had Wiener's laptop, we've had Hunter Biden's laptop. We have a cohort of other things to go through that will all effectively tie back in with Epstein as well and everything else that's being revealed. It kind of leads me into a couple of conversations that I had today, and I'm sure the person that I was chinwagging with as well probably won't be watching the show, but wouldn't even mind. But I won't be mentioning names or anything like that. Just the general tone of the conversation. See if you have something similar in this into yourself. Again, if you know me in real life, IRL, or we work in the same camp. I know some of the lads are tuning in now as well on the sites and stuff like that. A big up, hello to you all, lads. But they'll tell you, or they will affirm for me as well, that I'm pretty well known for my opinion, and I'm pretty well unabashed about sharing my opinion. Irish, Jew, Gentile, Muslim, whatever you are, I'll fucking tell you straight how I feel anyway about things and what I think is the remedy. And again, and I'll have to say, in the majority of cases, it does go quite well. I think I articulate my position as well as can be, or as well as I can, to the common man, and the everyday man and woman. But I just threw it out there flipping, because I said to you, there's a few people I might see from time to time. We might come across different side situations, but we'll be known to each other, you know. We'll have those kind of banter conversations. But I kind of just threw it out there within earshot of even the place where I was working as well, you know. Well, call him Stan for brevity's sake. Well, Stan, what do you reckon? How does it feel now to know that the world is completely run by parasitical cannibals and pedestrians and all this kind of jazz, you know? And it's kind of one of those opening one-liners that kind of flummox people for a bit at the start, but that's to be expected. Well, yeah, you know, there's so much information coming out. There's so much going out. I mean, some of it's crazy and stuff like that. But did you go and check it? Did you go and actually have a look at the files? Like, you can go on a website, you can go to the Epstein files on the US government's website and peruse and read through any of the files. They're all there. Or you can go and trust the many cohorts of researchers that are going through it as well, and the stuff that's coming out. But the main flow of the conversation was well, and it kind of ties back into the pandemic. I kind of steered it back into the pandemic. I said, you know, all this kind of information that comes out, it's kind of who you trust and stuff like that. He says, you know me, I don't trust anybody. And I said, yeah, and that's a good position. I said, skepticism is a very strong tool of your tools of discernment to figure out your epistemology and what the fuck you seem to know, what's true for you. And it's the same sort of case in every conversation that I've had. You'll probably find it too with those that succumb to it. It's the opening line, or it's the gambit. I simply had to. I had no choice. I simply had no choice. You know, things were going that way. Of course. And again, I don't rail up. I don't push back. I'm enthused, and I'm kind of taking stock of the different replies to the different kind of questions that have come in. But that kind of stays is I had to. There was simply no other way. The sense of agency is removed, even from high caliber lads that I hold in high regard to themselves, but kind of fell into that position. And like I said to you, tying back in with the X-Files thing as well. There's so much information, it's hard to know who to trust or what to take seriously. And people, we all know this, will not take the time to investigate or to read through it or to find out what it is. He says, you know me, GT, I don't trust anybody else. I said, but you took the jab, didn't you? He said, yeah, well, I kind of had to. I said, well, you trusted somebody there, so I kind of negate your whole kind of argument. When something so fantastical, malevolent comes out, people, of course, your psychological defense shield is going to come up straight away to sort of push back on what is being explained or what is being understood by your brain and stuff like that. It's hard to comprehend, and then you kind of have to rationalize that and put it in a box so you can carry on with your day to day. Oh fuck yeah, the world is ruled by pseudopedic cannibalistic vampires, but I still have to go to work at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I get that. We still have to keep things going as well. We are still in the system. And again, many systems are at play, but the system, we shall just call it nonetheless. And then I find that. But I find interesting as well, as when I'm engaging with a sort of person, is to kind of catch the reaction of people stood around or within earshot and stuff like that as well. And I find that curious as well, because there's tells. It's like playing poker, you know what I mean? There's tells out there when you can see the tells. And people do subconscious movements, or when they're not agreeing with you, like if they may be affirming it to you, they may be affirming it to you physically, but in their head, their body is telling you another story. They're shaking of their head clearly when they're agreeing with whatever your topic is or whatever you're trying to say. So I think I still think they're very meaningful, and I think they're very well worthwhile as an exercise for yourself, but to keep it in the breast of conversation and stuff like that. I just want to jump over quickly to Glenn Deason here, Professor Glenn Deason. Follow him, and I'm sure you've heard of him over on with the Duran and the two Alexes there and stuff like that. Again, a professor now starting to pick it in and sort of push the, as I say, as we've always said, I'll push it out to you there, the soup salad of language, propaganda at its finest. What's good for thee but not good for me, or what's good for me is not for thee. So Bloomberg Politics, 2 distinct articles, still the same concept. Russia moves to annex occupied Ukrainian land by September. And in this very same breath, by the very same paper, Israel moves to assert ownership rights in the West Bank to sideline Palestinian Authority. It's all one big bullshit factory. It's all one big razzmatazz to tie in to get effectively what they want. Where are we leading with this? I'm trying to lead it to a place where we last week spoke that we were trying to reach out to the 200,000+ disenfranchised voters, people of all walks of life spread throughout the country. Very effective voting bloc. And what we need to kind of move on next. And as part of what Kiva said in his blog, it was to convince three. In these conversations that we're having, I think we're beyond now reacting emotionally straight off the cuff. And we know when to back off or when to pose a certain question to people now, because they're saturated with it now. They cannot brush it off hysterically as fanciful fucking conspiracy or anything like that, because even with the capture of the mainstream media here in Ireland, it's still rolling out. People are talking about the excess deaths. They are being reported on. 26,000, I think it's pushing in till now. We can push all the graphs and charts that we want in people's faces, but I think the in real life conversation, and again, like I said, even like in these broadcasts here as well, it's not about directly talking about you. It's about the third person in the room, particularly when we were heavy on interviews, when we brought people in. I sat out of the way, and I wanted the person that I was interviewing to let them have the run of the floor with maybe a few pointed questions to steer the conversation in a certain direction, or to bring the best out of them and stuff like that. But the third person was in the room was always you, or those that are just popping into it per chance to try and just stoke up that curiosity or that discernment or that skepticism even. I thought this was quite funny as well. And we're on path now. The government are telling us that we're going to spend up to 1 billion on military aid, or to reinforce the Irish Defence Forces. We already know that they are opening the floodgates through the bribe of citizenship, through quick and easy citizenship for mandatory service in the Defence Forces. For what ails you? For what? My point being, if we're bringing that up there before I take it off the screen, is not only are these four fucking Mick the Hack, Conor Gallagher, Neil Journal, Cormac O'Keefe and RT News, all of them fucking nonsense actors, bullshit artists, come at me. Defamation, can't get blood out of a stone, but absolute Conor Gallagher, who besmirches all manner of people on our side and stuff like that, but is the government's sort of hatchet journalist that will come out and hatchet, your reputation and stuff like that. But we're now going to purchase these FNDs or KNDs from France, these fucking tin cans. We're going to take them off the French's hands because these were superfluous. These have been loitering around Ukraine and do not last longer than a Land Rover Cruiser out into Ukraine. They are absolute fucking pieces of shit with tin aluminium wrapped around them in the guise of ammunition. They aren't worth the bolts that's punted on them there. But we're going to spend stupid effectiveness money so that we can make the toy soldiers that we bring in here, the fighting age men, try and put some fucking manners on them. They won't be expected to change their headdress. They won't be expected to shave. They don't want a basic fitness test, but the Irish government doesn't care about that. They want them in these vehicles. They can pack them in there and say that we have our part, or a contingent of NATO forces out there. Them fucking things won't last half an hour against even a DJI drone, let alone a Russian drone. So just be mindful, and I suppose this is pushing back to any young nationalists out there, or anybody, young people that are kind of tuning in thinking, oh, this might be an easy career path to jump in with the Defence Forces. They are going to ship all of the Defence Forces and bring conscription back. They're going to do their utmost to remove the triple lock, because everything points to a situation or a war kicking off back in Ukraine again, or some sort of false flag against between now and 2027. 2027 is when they want to earmark a war in for Europe to bring in more emergency legislation or more emergency measures. I think we're on package number 20 now of the embargo against Russia. I mean, if the first one didn't fucking work, what makes you think repeating it 19 other times that package is going to work? Their economy is only growing, and it's not even on a war economy. Managed to bring inflation down. Russia is booming, absolutely booming, and does not need Europe. Has already diversified and diversified its oil sales to China, obviously, as you know. But it is all kicking off. But the Defence Forces are now getting $1 billion. What are we gonna? We're gonna crew them with complete non-nationals, completely fucking alien people, and then we're gonna try and ship them off towards the war. We're gonna have a military presence on the streets back home here to help with the whatever emergency situation that does arise. Again, it's on the fact, I think I've been saying that for the last 4 or 5, 6 years, but this time, I'm sure, trust me, this time, 2027, something mega has to kick off, and we have a whole year. Like, we're just breaking out the back of February, and it's already kicked off with international, like, aliens are real as well. I didn't bring that up in that conversation with my friend. Well, how do you think it'll have the confirmation of aliens? Actually, we've always known that. So in a way, some subjects are just dismissive because they've been in the zeitgeist, of conversation for years. But then the X-Files comes along and they just won't touch it. They just jump away with it, with a fright and a shock that you cannot play. We'll try and play the Telegram message. Let me bring up the chat there, folks. Sorry, it keeps popping off my screen. If I had this fucking monitor here, I'd be able to see it clearly, but I have to switch it over here and look over here to the right. Try and keep all things going. Oh, sorry, Stargirl, just seen you there. Karen. Stargirl in the house. Also, Karen Burns. Karen, where's your other half? I haven't seen him. Where's Nikki? Everything okay? Everything cool? Haven't spoke to you a lot for both a long time. Kate Daly, you're very kind indeed. Appreciate those lovely words. Hello, hope you're all keeping well and warm. I'm working, so I can only listen so well. Oh, it's from Stargirl. Stargirl! Put the volume up. We'll sing for you. Keep the office happy. 5/5 from John Paul. That was a while back there as well. My son-in-law missed out on this latest deployment to Lebanon because his fucking BMI said he was 1.4 kilos overweight. A bloody joke. I think they will. Like, I've seen another article there as well about they're taking the travel allowances or the allowances of soldiers that are about to deploy overseas, and they're taking their overseas allowances off them as well. I mean, they're trying to drive out decent soldiers, long-serving soldiers, quality soldiers. What they're going to bring in and try and stick into a uniform, and you'll see BFTs, basic fitness tests, or combat fitness tests will all be downgraded, will be superfluous. You'll get your training on the front line. Is essentially what they're going to say to you. We just want you to be able to steer these tin cans and point them in the direction of the T-80s, of the big, or whatever Russia has over there. What was the latest missile system? I think they've just tested out there. It's a hyperbaric missile system. This thing, when it explodes, it's not a chemical explosion. The hyperbaric, it's the speed. It's like the hypersonic missile. Anyway. This thing strikes, hits the ground, boom! It immediately heats the air, the surrounding air, to something like 1,000 degrees and stuff like that. Your lungs, your internal organs are vaporized. That heat wave pushes out in a destructive landmass formation as well. One of the biggest, most catastrophic weapons that I've ever seen for biological material and construction material, all sorts of earth material. Everything just gets eviscerated in this heat wrap, and it's not nuclear. It doesn't have a high yield explosive as such, but it doesn't discharge fumes or toxicity. But this just is instantaneous flash, like you're inside a 50-mile radius microwave. Things to look forward to. If if you want to join the Irish Defence Forces. Back to the SGT. Don't work too hard. Good evening. Hi to you, Finola. Sure, we are shoveling. We are shoveling very good. We are shoveling. I love it, Karen. I love it. We stick the gigs on here as well. So, going to go through this little broadcast as well, because I listened to it during the week as well. And again, steering back to the first part of the conversation, having those conversations with other people as well, is the fantastical nature of it as well. But while I feel, and people are getting wrapped up, but rightly so, because it's so heinous, focusing on the sex crimes, the trafficking. I mean, what else is there? But in amongst all the other emails is ties to 9/11, is ties going, not even just 9/11, way back in the day. As far as 2016, Stephen Bannon as well. Stephen Bannon's type of mention in the conversation that he'd had with Epstein. And I watched his American show through the 2016 campaign, through all of that. Just goes to show you cannot take, even Trump as well now. I mean, Trump, I feel, has been mentioned in the files, the X-Files, thousands of times. I think he was the original whistleblower, an FBI informant, but he's clearly culpable now of a cover-up and trying to continue to cover up. Listen to a conversation with Marjorie Taylor Greene as well, who's stepped away and is now speaking about her time in there, as she can do, because she's not gagged by any such. But in a conversation with Trump, he made the Freudian slip that during their conversation she said to me, look, your name is mentioned here thousands of times. It's clearly come out that you were there helping to put Epstein down. He says, but Marjorie, most of my friends will be hurt by this. That's the mindset where he's at. And she just went like, are you for fucking real? Would you still even consider them friends? Howard Lutnick, your fucking energy chief. That's the 9/11 connection, going back as far as him, his conversations with the X-Files. But the point being in this video broadcast as well, naval intelligence, I understood that, Colette, as well. Old school, like, and again, 77 Brigade are still here. 77 Brigade work in conjunction with Commission in Ireland as well. They're using all our propaganda and psychological tactics over here. Like your man Jeffrey, wonky double eyes. I love slagging him off, because if they do have to watch this, you wonky looking fucking crookhead, criminal crook you. I hope you do get to watch this. Well, he's over part of did his instruction or his basic training in China, in locking and censoring people's voices. Have a look. Let's have a little tune into this video here. Like I said to you, it's the financial implications and the leads to all the financial implications. And again, I will remind us again to keep talking to people about it. The Epstein plane landed here 12 times that we know of, and that was recorded. We understand that the flight logs have been scrubbed. Why was he here? What was he delivering? Or what was he picking up? Who or what? Surely someone will know. Why isn't there an investigation? That will spill out in time and come to us. Have a little listen, like I said, have a listen to this and see if it makes sense to you, and we'll have a little chin mag on the
One's about sex trafficking, human sacrifice, and cannibalism, and that's fair, because it's so depraved, it's hard to think about anything else. But you have to understand that people just like Epstein are not just psychos practicing deviancy in secret. They are the architects of the real-world systems of finance and government that we all submit to every day. An important Epstein email discusses a financial instrument called Forward Freight Agreements, or FFAs, which he describes as the way the Jew make money, in contrast to the goyim, a Hebrew word that basically means stupid human livestock. So let's unpack this. For most of history, shipping meant ships crossing oceans, an inherently risky business. That was the game. But then international finance showed up with these FFAs. These are derivative contracts that let you bet on future shipping rates for specific routes, without owning a ship or moving cargo or even going near the ocean. You don't transport anything. You simply speculate on the price of transport. So if you're a trader sitting in New York or London, you don't care if a vessel gets stuck in a canal or a crew misses Christmas delivery. You can short freight rates, hedge volatility, flip positions, and walk away clean. Meanwhile, the ship owner eats the loss. The crew still sails, fuel still burns. The goyim do all the work. They deal in the real world, as Epstein explained. This is what financialization actually looks like. Risk doesn't disappear. It just gets shifted and turned into something that can be gambled on. The industry used to reject this stuff, but over time the paper market grew until the futures market became bigger than the physical shipping market itself. Think about that. More money betting on the idea of moving goods than actually moving them. That's how almost the entire economy works now. This speculation on value in the real economy by traders, who not only make fortunes off markets but manipulate those same markets, is nothing new. In the 1800s, it was widely criticized, such as in the 1880s German book, Jewish Business Practices. In it, George Ratzinger explains, this Jewish style of work is characterized by two uniquely Jewish phenomena. One, it avoids any productive activity, instead seeking financial gain through the exploitation of the labor of others. And two, it pursues financial gain through the manipulation of and speculation on prices. So what Epstein was describing here is not some brilliant type of financial machination he came up with. And he didn't say this is the way I make money. He said this is the way the Jew make money, as though it is standard in their community. He is boasting that it is Jewish financiers who monetize risk and rig the game in their favor to rake in trillions, while letting the real working economy, the Goyim, not only absorb the damage, but pay for it all. You're probably missing.
Oops. And I just kind of play that through to you because of the financial implications of it all. God, trying to kind of wind it down or narrow it down to a sort of small little clique, but that ties into here as well. Our very own George Mitchell is mentioned in the files as well. George Mitchell was the American who does American Philanthropies, who was the original NGO here in Ireland. One of the originals, because he's a billionaire. He invested a lot of money. He had a lot to do with the Northern Irish peace agreement. Himself and John Hume were close friends as well. I won't besmirch his name. I won't besmirch his name just yet. I'll let that whatever information about John Hume to come out and stuff like that. But that whole, as I've always contested and maintained, that whole situation of the Americans get involved in the peace agreement 1920 was for the insertion of the Soros Foundation and all that, for open society to jump in. And again, American philanthropies to jump in for the benefit of Ireland. It was the easy access of cheap and free available credit from Murphy himself. And I was looking in the book again. The reason I was jumping in the book, A Nation Not a Rebel, is because even Cosgrave mentioned it. I was trying to look for the specific page as well. During the first and early days of the Republic, after the treaty was signed and stuff like that, trying to steer away from American capitalism. They were very well aware of the tactic of American capitalism. American capitalism is Israeli capitalism. And again, that conversation is coming out now. The noticing has gone stratospheric and supernova. That the Joe Normie is talking about the disparity of what Netanyahu and his tribe are all doing. And I will preface it with a hashtag not all. It's not all the Jews, a certain amount of them, but a high portent of it and a certain sect of it, primarily Zionism and stuff like that as well. But I'm not going to tumble down into that conversation. I know we'll all have our points of view on
the most important.
Shut up. I'm fucking done with you. You can go over there now in that bit. But you know what I mean? And again, we will talk frankly and be able to talk not only about Muslims, but Jews as well and that kind of stuff. And I think the inference in talking about the Judeo-Christian combination as well will bring the Commissioner Heron down on us as well. You can talk about the Muslims all you want, but you go near the JQ question and things will start getting spicy as well. But we do nonetheless dare to tread. When I think back in the early days when the likes of Shatter, and again, dual passport holders, we have a dual passport holder running the Labour Party over here, and who sits there she was actually sitting there doing the classic talking on a video, one of our Instagram, none of our social media crew would kind of point her in the direction, you don't really want to be doing that, boot face. Kind of don't want to be doing that. But again, dual passport holders, when I was talking about Shatter, who was one of the main instigators after Peter Sutherland, who opened up the borders, who enticed Ireland to join this European Economic Cooperative Bloc. It was already there in the acronyms for us that they were going to morph into a centralised, Soviet fucking mad state. But Shatter, not only did he open the gates, but he was the one I distinctly remember introducing saucy commentary but he wrote a book, and it was kind of like the early stages or his idea of 50 Shades of Grey at the time. It was fucking creepy crawly when I first heard it coming out on the right ways, because I was looking at him, smarmy looking, short down. But that's the playbook of the dual passport holder, is to corrupt the morality of the host nation as a parasitical emphasis. I'd say any one of those dual passport holders that are in government now or close to the reins are very much on board with the Zionist fucking understood method of operation, or a method to usurp the nation. Very qualified man by the system standards, but he was in there to introduce a spike or a spur in the system. And his this book and the controversy that it garnered and the publicity that he gained out for it, because good old ancient Catholic Ireland back in the day we're all still wearing ganzis and all. I mean, you need to go back, apart from all the other nonsense that was there, which I will contend was always the infiltration of pedestrians and homosexuals infiltrating the church to besmirch the name of the church. And again, I'm the first one to criticise the church. I've even said fuck the church a couple of broadcasts ago because of their lack of standing and speaking out on the stage, the platform that they have as well. I am aware that there's a priest kicking about on TikTok and on all the other social media platforms, and I say fair play to him as well. But we need some of the higher orders, Martin, all fucking very quiet, saying nothing at all about the Islamification of Ireland that's going on now. Apparently, we now currently have more Muslims here than Irish speakers in the country, and that's only going to get worse and worse. Should this be allowed to continue unfettered? I appreciate the lack of non-slagging for the side passport holder. I don't believe anyone should be allowed to be hold dual passport. Yeah, exactly same as Colette. Chuck Feeney as well gave it. I think it was probably Chuck Feeney that I was thinking of, but there's a George Mitchell in there as well. American Philanthropies. Again, the tie into all of that as well, and I think a recursive part on that as well. It always lodges into me as well. Bertie Ahern sanctioned and gave away 200 million to via Irish aid to, I think it went over to the United States as well. 200 million back in them days. We're talking, I would say, the late 80s, early 90s and stuff. That was fucking big money for a country to give out and give up. I think Feeney and his crew threw in 300 million. None of that money seems to have gone anywhere. I mean, all the political parties were set up. So where did that money actually go? Again, another slush fund for themselves. And I think pretty much like what Pascal O'Donoghue did to the World Bank by signing off 145 million of taxpayers' money, of the Exchequer's money, to facilitate his job, actually increasing it by 10 to 14 million. I think they're just giving him his wages on top of his bribe to get in and sloped off. But Bertie did the same thing, sanctioned 200 million to Irish aid. Google that. Have a look there. Just check me up on that as well. But that was the buy-in clause, you know what I mean, for the big boys club. And again, you won't be harassed for a finance minister that didn't even hold a bank account and was getting loans off his friends through the bookies. I mean, the fucking corruption in it all was unbelievable. And I want to throw in another name as well, just so we don't forget as well, young Peter Sutherland, who was the instigator of our dire state of Ireland, who was a complete and utter traitor to the Republic of Ireland, in essence. And his number two protege, Simon Coveney, who's keeping his mouth and his bib shut because his dual passport holder family were shipping in and human trafficking during the pandemic and labelled them as fruit pickers. But you come over here and pick these fruits that nobody else is allowed to pick, and when that time is up, we'll allow you access to PPS number and give you social housing from Bulgaria. Do you all remember it all? You remember that, sheepdog? All of them engrossing themselves on fucking corruption and human trafficking, the Ponzi scheme of it as well. And I've always said, and we on the right here have always said, of what this Kalergi plan, what it's intended to do, was and is the cheap movement, the free and easy cheap movement of free labour, which will destroy the economy because it destroys competition. Lovely to see Gavin Pepper out on the podcast as well. I'm noticing the lack of requests from podcasts for GT. Maybe I'm not that big. Not as big as I was there before, but I do have some kind of insights to the current malaise of what's going on. But I don't seem to think that none of you have the balls to bring me on. And it's not unless you're getting 56,000 and you are the approved voice and the approved message to bring that, what else? Well, the likes of Michael McCarthy and stuff like that. Got a little hook and it kind of works well, but it's kind of getting repetitive now. What do you think? Do you think this should happen? What do you say? Is this right? What are you doing, Michael? What are you proffering? What are you offering up? Same as we castigated John John Waters as well. The message is repetitive and repeating. What is new? What are we doing? What are we building together? Where is the party? Where is the kind of Restore Ireland version? Again, the right is fractured. See Nigel Farage being picked up again as about as another gatekeeper and being found wanting when the actual, what the people want. That's why there's such a electric response to Robert Lowe and the Restore Britain, because he's saying what you and I could clearly say if we were plonked in front of the camera. And he says it in the approved, the language, or with the approved accent. Rupert Brodo's. But then again, if Nigel Farage is tainted, then I'm saying Irish Freedom or its instigator is also tainted, because his number 2 was sent over here to work. Herman Kelly, I'm talking about, who I got wrapped up in as well in the early days, because I seen this as, well, here's this guy coming out and speaking. Again, where is the action, not just the talk? We've had 5 or 6 years of gatekeeping from the IFP. Done with it. Should have stuck to our guns to the party with our guns straight from the start. And I'm sorry to say that they got fractured as well. It was the National Party. National Party has been saying these kind of tenets from day one. And again, apart from the individuals. But I think the leadership was scuppered again by design, because there's a very effective speaker. But that a very effective speaker who now is at Clan Éireann, and I won't name it outright, but the inference is there, is about, even though you're such a sharp operator, a very elusive and compelling public speaker, your brand is tainted. Like all of us that were the vanguards at the very start, the brand is tainted, and we must allow new voices to come in and take over. Kind of flips back on my criticism, Michael McCarthy et al. But none of them brought in to see, like, it's all, it's easy now to set up a podcast and jump in and say it out. But where were you fucking 7 or 8 years ago when the message needed to be heard and said, particularly when the light of pandemic came back in? Again, like I said to you, I cannot thank you and say thank you enough to all the people who commented to me and keep saying to me, I remember your streams during the pandemic twice a day. They saved me. I keep and say that my response each and every time is that show, me speaking to you twice a day, saved me from the same mischief that it saved you. So it was just as much a benefit to me as it was to you. It was a means to an end, but it kept us all in contact with each other so that we could disseminate their information amongst ourselves and pick to what we all believe to be coherent, true and honest, and navigated our way through that period of time. But now that's all come out, and now all the peer reviews are coming out. All the Johnny-come-latelys with the different podcasts coming out. Again, it's needed, but again, you need to go back to the vanguard. You need to have the problem people that caused the problems from the very start and had their names splashed all over the highlight, and not bringing in the comfortable voices because they have a high viewer count or whatever, and you might be able to dovetail off that. Do the hard and heavy lifting now while you have that platform, because don't expect any platform to stick around and stay for long, because it'll be taken off you just like that as soon as you go or buck against the system. So use your time carefully now to propel the voices that are capable now of speaking out, not just your cushy friend that might just boost your numbers, and keep piggybacking on each other on each other as well. Yeah, John, lots of people only waking up, John says there. I agree. They are beginning to waken up. Like I said to you, the information there's a saturation of information. You would have to be low-line retarded to not understand of the consequences of what's being talked about. Even though it's not being raised in the mainstream media, it is there, again, I keep saying to you, in the zeitgeist as well. T2M, when you be back on Reyes? I will do a show with Reyes soon as well. Absolutely should do that. No foreigner should ever hold any power on the host nation. Yeah, they're like... I think with 28, 29, when is our next one? It is not 27. Pop. When's the next Irish general election generally? Generally, the next general election? I think is it 30? Is it 2029 or 30? Come on, chat. Chat is like my AI. I have been diddling around with AI in the week there as well. I think those cartoon thumbnails are very effective as well, because it doesn't name out any people. What was the question I asked there? And when you finish reminding me of the question that I asked, remind me of the answer. Ho! Oh, here weeks ago, a week OS. It was great saying all the Hardy Bees a few times a week OS. Yeah, it absolutely was, Nicky. 4 years. Thank you, Sheepdog. 4 years. That's the answer. What was the question? 2029, appreciate it. I know the longevity. 2029, that's what I was thinking as well. 2 years till the locals. And 2029 for the thing. So with the allowance now of foreigners into the election system now, we can always see. I've seen posts in different areas now of them forming together and pushing their own candidates for people that will represent their voices in their country and bring about their customs and want to instigate their cultures and turn Ireland into the shithole from whence they came, because that's why they tried to escape. They escaped with whatever nebulous reasons that they got over here. Part of that conversation from earlier on today as well about not only the Ukrainian cars is going in, but every learner or new driver is already jumping into a 21 BMW or an 18 reg car. I haven't seen anyone in a 06 or a 05 trying to make their way through, which leads me to believe that they're getting car loans, they're getting business loans, they're getting house loans, they're getting everything and put on a platter in front of them, while dear old fucking Ireland, Mr. and Mrs. Irish, is getting fucking well left behind and getting nothing. So again, we need to energise ourselves. We need to engage in them conversations, and we need to pick a team, football team. Like I said, I know the National Party is in every. I hate to sound like a second wife here, but why don't you invite them on your show? Maybe some don't know you're back in action. Absolutely, Karen, you'd never be a second wife to me. Nikki just wouldn't allow it, and I wouldn't allow it either as well. Not a second wife at all. And I don't think anybody in our conversations, unless they're new to the parish, would throw out a silly question. And no questions are silly wants to throw out there. But again, the whole point of all of this in time when we get going as well. But like I said to you, I am self-funded. We are still demonetised in all of those aspects. And again, Nikki, to yourself, Nikki, and Karen as well, and to the many of you, all of you in the chat, thank you for your contributions over the years. You produced the microphones, you helped for the computer, you compare for all the paraphernalia that helps me out here, the gimbal that kept me going through the years. It was your support that got me out over to Greece, bought the tickets to fly over to Greece to cover that, back over to Italy as well, on all the donations that you helped over there as well throughout the years. It's not lost to me as well, so don't think I'm out over here. I'm doing this as a hobbyist now, more or less, because the monetization sort of taints it. If the YouTube comes back on and that helps, all well and good. It'll be something that I'll have created, I'll have manufactured, and I'll get the benefit out of it myself as well, for the effort that you put into it. But the whole point, or the whole rationale about doing this from the very start, is to speak and to be the contrarian and to speak out. I do it for free because I fucking love my country. I love you. I love my family, and I love the people all around me. I love human beings, if I'm completely honest. And I would do it, and I'm doing it for free because I want people to have the right information, to have the choices, to make their decisions, so that we can bring ourselves back and try and have a safe and running society. Because what is happening now is by design, is to destroy us and to bring us into terror, and I think to wreck us through for 2027. So if these foreigners are allowed to access to the voting system or to political positions of power because of diversity, and as the gay hornet fucking Leo Varadkar said, there's too many white faces in here. Get the fuck. Utter nonsense that we allow this drivel and we allow the media to perpetrate those lies, to shame people into allowing people that fled countries that were not capable of producing or creating what we have here in this island. None of it is yours, and it may be given to you now fraudulently, but I fucking promise you now, when the nationalists take over, it will be scorched earth. All your assets or everything you've ever been given by the Irish people will be taken back. And again, this rhetoric is going to permeate. It's going to get more and more. I'm just ahead of the curve again. Make your plans now for not staying too long. Because as Rupert says, legal migration is far more damaging than anything illegal migration is doing, even now at this stage. Legal migration must be reversed. Everybody at all these housing estates, I would have no problem pulling them down because they're utter fucking rot. Some of the houses I work, particularly over on the north side, are not even 6 years old, but they are rotting from the inside. They are fucking riddled with mould because of our high humidity. And these governments have allowed this cheap fucking timber frame building to allow for another catastrophe and another housing crisis that will permeate in 10 or 20 years when these things start fucking rotting from the inside. That they probably already know and are banking on that as well. And all these high-rise towers, they are rotting and falling down worse than China. The agenda clearly stated that violence would increase, but we would have to accept it. Yeah, again, people out of desperation, and particularly when economics gets tough for people, or people can't and struggle to survive day by day, and when they see other people living the life of luxury, not even as the face suggests in the thumbnail or in the picture there by from Mandy, these people just expect it. These people, this is it. How dare you fucking make me queue up? How dare you make me queue up? This fucking look of entitlement for this prick here at the start and all of these cohorts here. Learning English or just access to the market with no intention of going back. And again, they're only doing the jobs that fucking Irish kids won't do because these fuckers are shitting in the stalls and then cleaning it up after them as well. Again, we better be careful. There's no point in being too facetious as well. I won't be too facetious. But we have to understand with these trade agreements that these people will swamp this country because they're able to communicate to each other. They buy houses in block bulk. They work together as a community. They're already speaking on Facebooks and other platforms, and they share the information with each other about how to get the best out of the system, how to move around the system, because we won't talk. We won't talk like that to each other. Or here, look, you want to get the X and Y? I have no problem saying to that now. I don't avail of any of that now. But I'm saying to you now, take it now while you can. Get and squeeze everything out of the fucking system while you can before it collapses, because it will. Because these fucking sure as shit are doing the exact same thing and are being instructed and shown how to take advantage of it. Not only are they getting preferential treatment on the housing lists, they're being prioritised ahead of Irish children. We've got another scoliosis case burgeoning out there again. Young girl struggling, and her family having to go for me to send it to the States to get another surgery. It's an absolute fucking disgrace. And again, I'm punctuating with serious words. An absolute disgrace that these all of these nonsense actors can walk around saying, Micheál Martin making another statement, I've always said that our greatest asset is our people. But which people? The people that you choose, the people that you're paying to facilitate, to bring in, to give them everything that the Irish people and the dead generations before them have bled blood and soil into the ground to build and create for the generations that follow. Just for you feckless teaching pox to give it away. When the nationalist government and national dust came over, it'll be short, shripped, and it'll be a shock to the system. And it'll be definitely what's needed. And I guarantee you, Irish nationalists will be begging for it. We'll be begging for it, because the alternative after that is civil war. If our voices aren't heard, if we aren't given a seat at the table, you will feel us at the door outside when the building is brought down around you, because you won't bring us in. This is the frustration that is building up, but it needs to be managed, it needs to be steered, and it needs a voice, and it will get its voice. Its day will come. It's brewing. It has to form out of necessity, and it is. I see all the leaders, all the community leaders, all the wonderful, brave people here and on Twitter, everybody doing their pieces, doing their bit for the state, for the nation, to keep propagating the message, to keep pushing out the truth, to keep pushing back against the degenerate system that is trying to smash us, is trying to usurp us. We can suffer the enemy, but we cannot survive the usurper, the traitor. Each and one, every one of you, from the 33rd Dáil to the very inception of the first Dáil, are traitors, one and all, to the people of Ireland. Fuck the Constitution, to the people of Ireland, the people you're supposed to represent, you fucking traitors. I got carried away, boys. Again, boys and girls. God bless you and God bless yours. But I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of us around there do feel the same. I don't know why that just gets me going. But yeah, we're not going to be afraid of our opinion. You can call me racist all you want. Don't get wrapped up in the conversations with these people, because all they will do is shout. They're not honest brokers. Even our lefties, they are not honor brokers. They're not there for the conversation. They are not there for the engagement. They are just there to shut you down, shut you up, because they don't want anybody else or the person beside you to understand the truth that you are speaking or the logic that you are bringing to the situation. They don't want that. They just want the utter destruction so that they can bring in what they think will be their nirvana, their utopia. Well, they're being rode stupid by the globalists, one and all. Fucking drongo. Excuse me for fucking cursing again there, boys and girls. Oop, got me going there. Got me angry. Got me a little bit angry. But it's the expectation of the faces, you know what I mean? It's the, what do they call it? It's the conceit in it as well, you know. That just fucking irritates me, because I know from my harshest enemy to my harshest critic, each and every one of us would say, you know, give someone a fair crack at the whip. But they're getting more than a fair crack at the whip. They're being given the whole park to run amok, while our own are being stuffed in a corner and left outside to dry. Fucking 19-year-old girl I heard, homeless, or sorry, a 40-year-old woman in a doorway, fell asleep in the middle of the pissing rain there during the week and died in her sleep. She had no idea how to survive out in the streets. Nothing. No services for any from that woman there as well. I couldn't give a shit if she was a brass monkey and caused the scene. You'll fucking wrap them up and give them their own private rooms when they come into the hospitals. But as soon as an Irish brass monkey kicks in, you're kicking them out in the streets or you're fucking them out in all sorts of weather. I'm done with it. Give nothing to these charities, particularly the fucking Irish charities, because they don't go prioritise genuine, honest people that need a handout. They're giving it away and it's a slush fund from them all. I'm only delighted that Hungary has blocked the 90 billion package, the 90 billion war fund, that our fucking ministers have now chucked us into the war hat, and now Russia has told us, you have a target on your back now. You want to pay into the Kiev war fund, that we'll pop you. And I've already told you how they're going to do it to us. If fucking Starmer keeps in, or he keeps agitating him and Macron for war against Russia, they're just going to let off a little nuclear pop off the west coast of Ireland. I'm stealing my little compass to make sure it was right. Pop a little nuclear blow. The tidal wave will wash over Ireland on its way to wash over the British Isles. That's how he's going to do it. It'll be the flood et al. At times large. I don't think he wouldn't do it. Or even a strike, even a missile strike. His new missiles can launch from the edges of Russia and touch anywhere in Europe. They can even make their way to the United States at this moment in time. Unbelievable. We don't have honest brokers in government. We have children. We have fucking crooks. We have usurpers and traitors. They know exactly what's going on. But when the nationalist position becomes clear, when the personality takes to the pulpit, and is allowed to speak and is given a seat at the table, or rather, it takes the fucking seat at the table, or it flips the table up on its head, that'll be the alternative. That's what's needed. That's the rhetoric you should be given. No apologies. Speak your position and fucking laugh at these nonsense actors when they do the whataboutery or what about this or what if. Don't do per capita, feign statistics or feign ignorance, because that's all they're capable of. Destroy them argumentation, destroy them in all aspects, metaphorically and rhetorically. The time will come for all other things in due time. Okay, I think I covered. I think I got well taken off me my track, my train of thought there that I wanted to go to. Let's see if we just finish off with a little ticker tape on Twitter there, just to see what's kicking about down there at the moment. And let me bring up the chat. I'm conscious of not leaning into that light too much because it the shine off me face is just unbelievable. Dennis Snakes, absolutely, Seamus. Shannon has been in American Army Hub for over 50 years. Yeah, that should be all shut down as well. They're shipping fuel now to Ukraine to get ready for the next stage of the war. Because of the Hermes Straits being closed by the Iranian situation, which will get ready for it, will add more fuel prices to our fuel prices over here as well, which could again be alleviated by the government. Not to give them any ideas or incentives, when 65% of your fuel price is going in taxation, on top of your road tax, on top of your car insurance, on top of everything you do to keep the vehicle on the road, 65% of that is. They could drop that down to 55, 45 in time of war when the oil spike shortage kicks in because of the war in Iran. If it does kick off, but they're already threatening to close down the Hermes Straits. Not sure it would help, but a thought. SGT, me neither. Colette, not anymore. Just pick it up as some of your daffodil. Nope. Colette says, I don't support charities. They're all corrupt. You should see the clothes they dump in the bin after people donate them as well. And you see all the foreigners going into the bins now and taking them, even though they're supposed to be for charity and for people in charity. Let's drop over here. Rupert Lowe's just put out a message there. I want to get this before it drops away there. Dr. Marcus, put up Dr. Marcus. Does this very biased IT journalist even have the faintest clue at how mRNA vaccine actually works? And he put the vaccine in quotations because it's not a vaccine, it's a gene therapy. It's CRISPR. It's DNA altering technology. RFK has absolutely nothing, to gain by trying to ban mRNA vaccine technology. His skepticism isn't entirely justified. I would imagine it's the Irish Slimes trying to push back there. Let's see just on anything the more contemporary. There is Yeah, there as it is there as well. Let's have a little party political broadcast from the National Party.
I want to introduce our first speaker.
I'd love to do it, but I just looked at the time, 7 minutes. It's the National Party, Jerry Kennevy. I encourage you to go and watch it. All young men, all young alpha men are now starting to appear, and I'm here for it. I'm happy to see it. Very articulate, very intelligent, very engaging. It'll be the new breed. They're needed, but they need to come now with muster, and we need more experienced heads with them as well. What else have we got here? Oh, look, more LGBT nonsense. More LGBT nonsense. Oh, this is we've all seen this video here, but for those of you who are afield, the two girls were in a taxi driver here. This girl, she was recording the conversation because the two ladies were speaking Oscailga to each other. They were speaking Irish. The driver pipes up. I don't think you should be speaking that foreign language because it makes me feel uncomfortable. I'll give you a little taste of it.
And doesn't understand what you're saying. It's not. I feel like you're talking about me.
Okay, well, we're not. This is just the language we speak to each other.
It's very nice. I appreciate and I really like the spoken.
Now, the fucking neck, the absolute neck, Mick can hear myself, but the neck of him speaking when he'd quite easily just stop when one of his own jumps in the car, wouldn't even give a second thought to it there. But this is just him asserting dominance over two females. That's exactly what it is. It's the male, his male trying to attack the feminine here because it's two young ladies or two ladies and he's trying to use that position here. He would not have the bollocks to say it to two male to do the exact same things. And again, to any of my apprentices or any of the lads that were working the last couple of weeks, they'll understand because I know I won't tolerate that around me. We've got Romanians that work on us, Cefac. I know most of the language. I have a general understanding of it because I've had to understand the 50 languages. But as soon as they start conversing with each other and talking to each other in their language, I'm the first to say, shut the fuck up. If you can't speak English, go outside and speak. Don't be speaking around us. You say, that's very rude. It's not very fucking rude. You're fucking rude for speaking your language. We're all English speakers here. If you don't like it, get it. I have caused fucking bedlam on sites over that. Don't be speaking your fucking Mickey Mouse language here. To be kind of rude like that. And I mean, just big dog energy, spreading it all away. But the only reason this muppet can get away like that, and ladies, it's kind of hard, but I understand. Do not take this kind of dross from these people trying to tell us that we cannot speak because it makes him feel uncomfortable. Shut the fuck up, drive the car where I told you to take me. That's all you need to do. Go off into your brain and travel all elsewhere. But they won't do it because they want to put the mockers on women because that's the society they come for. I know that I'm getting very close to the camera. I'll back away, GT, back away. It's kind of like when you're getting in somebody's, when you're getting in somebody's face. I was kind of getting in your face there as well. You boys said out of keep turning me head. Okay, boys and girls, you get where I'm going. I won't go through anymore because I'll probably have another blow off. That's what I got. Jay Bell's talking about the study reveals that the 20 sanctions package won't get approved. Like I said, the other fucking 19 iterations of sanctions didn't work against them, but you're going to keep doing. And the only people that get affected by sanctions is us, the European people, because it's us that are denying ourselves of cheap, or it's you muppets denying us of cheap energy, so that we can fuel our endeavours and our labours to fuel ourselves and to feed ourselves. But these fucking nonsense actors, anything else out there? Oh, there she is. There's Marbles, as I like to call her. Let's bring her up. A mouthful of marbles. I was just perusing through it there as well. Sitting with racism. This fucking DEI hire cannot even speak the English language clearly and cohesively. If this was ever a DEI hire, Commissioner Heron, fucking, snapshot this. Clip this. This is a fucking idiot you put in a position of power. This is a fucking drongo that you've given a professorship, paid for her scholarship. She didn't attend any classes, was a guaranteed pass because you knew this fucking idiot would stand out in the rest of us in our banana-coloured oilskins and talk to us about racism or how to sit easy with our whiteness and all of this bollocks. This will not be taken. This person is not even considered or taken seriously. And you prop up this message, will be destroyed. She will be fucking shipped off back to when she came and given a seat. But all the drongos that have put it over into them positions of power, assets will be seized. That's all I'm saying. Assets will be seized. Sitting with racism. Fuck off back to where you came from. Deal with that. I see what I told you. I told you. And again, I'll finish off on this as well, because the left will love to say it, and it'd be remiss of me if I wasn't to mention it. But the Irish paedophile that was caught in town as well, who's had his house turned upside down, who's had his windows smashed in, and if the locals could have got a hold of him, would have fucking shredded him from ear to ear. Don't any one of you drongo leftos tell me that the right don't care if he was a white Irishman. In fact, he got it near worse. He got the public shaming that he fucking deserved, and some. But when a fucking new to the parish or your pet dogs come in, do the exact same thing or do even worse, you will not hold them to account. You will not hold them to any standard that we will hold our own to a standard. That fucking prick is lucky he's not getting head first dipped into a wood chipper. Wood chipper. And when the nationalist government take over, pedestrians, rapists and murderers and traitors will be hung publicly outside the houses of the parliament. Public. And again, the left as well, all usurpers of Ireland, public hangings. Don't think it's beyond remiss. If you're tied up in the Epstein, I can't wait to buy the court bomb to see you hung, drawn and quartered. But traitors, murderers, rapists and pedestrians, without question, will be publicly flogged and hung publicly for the fucking public's enjoyment. And our Irish ones get it even worse, because that's even worse. That's like a stab in the heart, stab in the back. You'd expect it from outsiders. You are distrustful of outsiders. But when it's one of your own, like the traitors in the government, like the traitors in the Garda, like the traitors in the defence forces, like the traitors in the Navy forces as well. Fucking traitors, one and all, having a clue about your oath that you fucking sign up for, having an understanding of what your oath means and understands to the Irish people, because you're not of this nation and you never will be, and we will not accept you. That's all I wanted to say on the Irish paedophilic front. I'm going to let it go there, boys and girls. I've already spilt deliriously over my time. Can I get a 5x5? Can I get your sign-offs, your age and your location, as we finish up on this little odyssey of ours, on this, I like to say disposition, but all the talking was from me, and I don't think you got a word in edgeways. Let's have your name, your age, and your location, if you wouldn't mind sharing that deep, fascinating information with me, and we'll sign off and we'll let you go home. Don't forget, take notes, and we'll see you again next week. Just waiting for the happy defender of the fatherland. I'd nearly do it. I did that off camera. Did you see that? I did that off camera. Colette's joining us from Wexford at the delirious and dizzy young age of 60. Oh, you missus. Oh, I say. Well. 5x5 from Kate Daly, great lady. Katie Daly, great lady. I love it. Chipping in there as well. Rathoth also in the house. Good to see you, Gene. I said good to see you, but thanks for the comment. Come on, boys. 5x5. Thanks for that, Katie. It's not a speedy roll chat here. We've only got a couple of hundred in here. Proper Dub, 43, joining us from GRL LLC and Gone Being Hunter. God bless you. SDG, Star Girl D, joining us from California. Feeling 99 today. Pick it up, girl. You're only as young as the young fella you're feeling. Keep it going, as they say. Q Trooper from the USA. Q, I did read your message earlier on. Thank you for finding us again. Do please push the message out. And we are back from censorship. 66 years. You know me. I know you. Do you know me? Harry Berry. Hair Bear Ryan. Ryanair from Artane. You didn't think I'd know you, did you? You didn't think I'd recognise you. Good to see you. Thanks for jumping in and saying hello. Fanula, here we go again. Clondalkin, 92. That's all I'm saying. It's a running joke every week, but I love it. Nicky Bourne, big man. Thank you very much. Thanks for jumping in. Killag, just like the song, and Down by the River too. We've got a HP Wallbanger, who's an Enniscorthy pensioner. Love it. 5x5 again from Nicky Burns. Edinburgh in the house. Dear old Scotland. Dear old Scotland. I'm a Hiberno Scot. I have a deep affection for Scotland. Siobhan is from Coolock. She's Siobhan Murphy. You are not 555 plus 5. But a delicious younger heart. Karen Burns, 66 from Matawan, New Jersey. New Jersey in the house. International audience over here. Thank you very much. International audience. Siobhan's 50 joining us from Artane. Anne from Athlone, 75. Thank you, Annie. Fitzer in the house from Dublin. Keeping his age tight. Keeping his age, that mysterious angle. I like it, Fitzer. I like it. Good night to you as well from John O'Donoghue. And Yup from the Wicklow from Sean Keogh. Good to have you. Off the Ballyogan Road, thanks to you as well. Simon Leslie Meets. That's a very nice name. Simon Leslie. I like it. Don't forget to give the thumbs up as well. 5 by 5, brothers and girls. Liz from Wicklow. Life begins at 90, not 40. From our good friends. Finola, you look great. And I appreciate that, Jad. Thank you very much, John, and to our good friend Lady T. Okay, boys and girls, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry for shouting. Sorry for letting it off. Just kind of helps to blow off steam from me. Helps to alleviate some of the stress and pressures from me. But I hope it kind of motivates us. Like as I do encourage you, do keep speaking. Do keep talking. Pick and choose your battles for you and what works for you. I'm not encouraging you to do anything out of the extraordinary. Just keep having those conversations when you have that chance. Use them for practice for yourself to fine-tune your own epistemology or your own understanding. But argumentation done correctly is a powerful weapon. We still have time to keep on talking. I can see the craziness going on out there like you. I can see it all unfolding before us. But we have to keep working together, and we have to keep the faith, and we have to keep together. God bless you. God bless yours. Love yous all. Us, everybody. Us. Let's do that. Let's do another one of them silky smooth transitions.